Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Simple App series and we're going to be creating this page as you can see. So here what happens is you have the preloader which is shows the now loading, and then once the image is loaded, which is the main content we have, the image will be shown. So without any further ado, let's see how to do that. So to start off, I've created a folder called Loader Bouncy Ball in my desktop, and you can also do the same in your desktop or wherever you store your code in a separate directory or something. And I'll create two files out here. One has the HTML file, which is index.html, and the other the CSS file, style.css. For the HTML file, we'll start off with emit abbreviation, and we'll go the basic structure of HTML, and I'll call this as loader, the title of the page. To start off, what I'll do is, since the body is going to have two content, one is the main content which is going to show after the loader page, and one is the loader page. The loader page, I've called it with the class of wrap, so I wrap the text around it. Now the original content of the loading page is what is inside the loader. Now inside the wrap, I've added a div called loading. Now inside the div, I'll add the bouncy ball and the text. The bouncy ball is basically just a div which we're going to do, and we're going to give the bouncy ball effect using the CSS. So we'll give a div and we'll give a class of bouncy ball or bounce ball, and a div of text which will say now loading, which is the text which you see. Okay, now we'll save this. We'll link the CSS file to this. So that's done. We'll open it with live server. Okay, that's the basic text which we have. Let's go to the CSS and we'll start off with the basic root, and we'll give three variables: the width, the height, and the bounce ball height. So the width, which I put it to be 25 pixels, the height, which I have also put it to be 25 pixels, and the bounce height, which I have set it to be 30 pixels. Okay, these are the three variables which we need. Next, we'll go to the body and we'll give some basic structure like the font family, the font size, the background, the whole page's width, the height, and the position. So we'll start with the position, and we'll keep the position to be relative, so it changes based on the text which we are working with. The width is 98% and the height is 98 VH. Yes, that's done. Now let's go to the font family. I've chosen the Times New Roman font, so based on the web browser it will change the font, and we'll give a font size of 2 EM and a background which is like a slight bluish color. So this is the slight bluish color, so that's done. Now we'll work on the loader text and the loading. So basically for the loading, we want a position where it stays where it wants, like in the center of the screen. So the position will be set to absolute, and we'll move it from the top left corner to the center of the screen. That's what we're going to do. We'll do that by using the wrap class. We'll set the position to be absolute. We'll set the top to be 50% and the left also to be 50%. Now once this is done, you need a transform so that you align it properly. So transform, translate, how much ever was left out from the top is given, and how much ever was left out from the left is also given here. So once you save it, you'll have it aligned properly with the X and Y axis taken as the screen. Now we'll give the text a particular color and display and all of that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Text. We'll set the color of the text to be a slight yellow-orange mix. Next, we'll work on the display, which is inline block. And I'll give a margin left because we are placing the bouncy ball on the left of the text. So we'll give a margin left of around 5 pixels. So we can align the bouncy ball also properly. Next, we'll work with the bounce ball. So we grab the bounce ball class. We'll set the position of this to be relative, and we'll give the display of this also to be inline block. We'll give a height to this, which we'll set it to 37 pixels, and also the width, we'll give the variable of width. Okay, now the text has moved based on the height and the width. Now we'll use a property called as before. So basically what before does is, like before when you load the page, there'll be time where this bounce ball text alone will be loaded. So before this text is loaded, what do you want it to happen? So think of it like a time phase where the loader page starts and the bounce ball loads. So between that is what we are going to say should happen using the before. Set the position to be absolute. Say the content to be nothing. A simple text out there. Keep the display to be a block. Give a top of 0. The width of variable width. The shortcut for doing that, what I did was just write width there. It will automatically look for the variable there and I'll align it. Similarly for height, you can go ahead and just write height and you'll get the variable there. Using width and height, you only create a square. Once you put the border radius to be like 50% or equal to same as width and height, it turns the square into a circle. So I'll just put border radius 50% and we'll give the background color of the same thing as the text because we want it to be a yellow orangish color, so it goes along with the text. Transform origin. So basically it establishes the origin of transformation for an element. So that's what transform origin is. So 50%, and then now the animation where we want the bounciness of that ball to work. So that's the animation. So bounce is the animation name which we're going to give for 500 milliseconds, and then we'll give alternate, infinite, and ease. Okay, now you have the bounce ball set to here. So now we'll work on the animation. So to work on the animation, we need a keyframe. We'll give keyframes and we'll give this to be bounce because that's the animation name we have given, bounce. At 0%, what we wanted to do is the top should be this variable of bounce height. Okay, the top is set. Now the height of 5 pixels. So it's pretty small there. We'll give the border radius too. So the border radius, once you give one thing, it just means it covers the whole. But this border radius, we'll give it for each of them, or for the right, the left, and top and bottom. 60 pixels, then 60 pixels again, and then 20 pixels and 20 pixels. So this is at 0%, and we want it to transform, and we'll scale the X to be twice. Next, at 35%. At 35%, what we wanted to do is the height, we will change it from 5 pixels to the variable of height, and we'll transform it to a circle basically. So border radius of 50% and transform scale X of 1, so it remains in original position, and 100% we want the top to be 0. So now if you see, when it's at 0%, you have that border radius, like when it goes down, it changes and it's a circle. So that's what is happening. Now this is just set to infinite until the text actually appears. So that's what we're going to do now. First, we'll work with the main content out here in the HTML5. So div.main content. That's what I'm going to add. And I'm going to add a random image, which is like really huge, like around 4000 by 4000. So it's going to take some time to load, and you'll see the now loading page shown. So now let's go to the CSS and let's work on the main content. So the main content I've done there. The width, we'll set it to be 98%, and the height to be also 98 view height. And we'll give a background. There is an image that we take from the URL, and this is the URL. It's just a random image from somewhere. So we keep it at center, no repeat, and we keep the background size to be cover. So once you save it, you can only see the now loading page because you haven't set it to like go off after the main content actually loads. So it like takes some time, and the main content also loads, but it's still there, the now loading page. So that's what we are going to do in JavaScript. Basically in JavaScript, what we're going to say is whenever the image is loaded, the now loading page display should be set to none. So you don't have the now loading page anymore. once the image has been loaded. So we'll go to the script tag, and inside the script tag we'll set a variable. We'll call it as wrap, and what you do is you find it from the document dot query selector. And what's the query? This wrap. So we put it dot wrap because it's a class name of wrap. It takes this content. That's what the wrap does. Now window dot add event listener. So this is an event listener. What this listens to is load, and once the loading is done, we'll set a function. And this function, what's it supposed to do is the wrap. It should take this wrap element, and it should set the style, which goes to a CSS part of it, and the display of that style should be set to none. That's what we're doing. Okay, so this is done. Now once you save it and you load it, okay, it's loading, it loads. Now the image is there and you have the display and is set to none. Now if you want, you can also change the background color. That's up to you. You can use a particular query selector, and since the image is set to random and it's taken from the website, there is not a lot of problem there. So now when you again load it, it will work on the now loading page. The background image is there, and then it's still loading, as you can see on the top of the web browser. And once the loading is done, the now loading page display is gone. That's set to none through JavaScript, and then you only have the image. So this is basically how a loader page can be set to a website and can be used. So if ever you want the loading page to do this, you can do this by using JavaScript. There are other ways to it, but I find this as a simplest way and the easiest way to understand it. And while you're making a website, understanding that website is really important. Just don't copy it directly from your website or from your friend, just so that you can finish the website or create a fancy website, because you should know what the website contains and you should know the bits and pieces of the website and how it works. That's why I chose this method of JavaScript, because it's really easy to understand and we have already done something like this. Yeah guys, that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any comments or if you have any doubts, do post in the comment section. I'll check it out. We'll see you guys in the next video.